Good evening, this is Mr. Wintermelon. While this might not be the worst video you watch on specialized cells and how their adaptation is related to their function, this is probably going to be the most disappointing because we are only going to go through 3 specialized cells because Cambridge says so. They are going to be root hair cell, xylem vessel, as well as red blood cell. Not in that particular order. But first, let's talk about what's the meaning of cell structure. Cell structure, the structure here refers to the adaptation of the cell. But what's the meaning of adaptation? We will go through some example in animal to allow you to understand the meaning of adaptation. So adaptation is related to the function. Polar bear can swim in icy cold water. What adaptation allows them to do so? Because they are very fat, they have thick layer of fat and thick layer of fur to protect them against the cold water. How are bats and birds able to fly? Because they have the adaptation of wing. So I have 2 crabs down here. Beside the color, can any of you spot the main difference beside the color? You may notice that the last pair of legs, they are drastically different. The crab on the left, the hind leg is in the shape of a paddle, while the crab on the right, the hind leg, they are similar to rest of the leg, which are like pokey shape. Why is that so? Because the crab on the left is adapted to swimming in the sea, while the crab on the right, it is adapted to walking along the beach. So, the adaptation of the swimming crab has a paddle-like hind leg, while the walking crab has the adaptation of pointy leg so that it can step into the sand. Next, let us look at tortoise as well as turtle. So what is the main difference? So you might notice that the leg of the tortoise and the flipper of the turtle, they are different. Why? Because the tortoise is adapted to walking on land, while the turtle, their flipper being in the shape of a paddle, allows them to swim in the sea. So that is adaptation, which is related to their function. The same goes for cell as well. Cells comes in many different shapes and sizes to cater to the need of our body. And they are able to achieve their unique structure through a process known as differentiation, where they become specialized. And we are going to talk about 3 specialized cells because Cambridge says you need to know them. But if you ask me, I think it's very weird that we are discussing about the 3 cells in this chapter, because there are actually special chapters dedicated to those systems which those cells are applicable to. But because those 3 cells are in your textbook in this chapter, so we have to go through them. So first off, we have our red blood cell, and the first feature is red blood cell contain hemoglobin. Oxygen likes to bind to hemoglobin, so this will allow them to transport the oxygen around the body. As you can see, the red blood cells lack a nucleus. This will allow them to carry more hemoglobin. And as a result of lack of nucleus, they are flattened and biconcave. This allows the red blood cells to have an increased surface area to volume ratio, which will allow rapid diffusion of gases. If you do not know what is diffusion, you will learn that in the next chapter. Which is why I said it's weird that they talk about red blood cell in this chapter. Red blood cell is also elastic. This will allow them to squeeze through the narrow capillary. Again, right now you don't know what's capillary. which is why I said it's weird. Next, we have our root hair cell. They are long and narrow, and the function is it increases the surface area to volume ratio for rapid absorption of water and mineral salt. And you might ask, why is increased surface area to volume ratio? You will learn about this in the next chapter. They have a large central vacuum that contains cell sap. So this will store sugar as well as salt solution, and this will enable them to absorb water at a faster rate. Why, you might ask? You will learn that in the next chapter. Meh. Lastly, let us talk about xylem vessel. The xylem vessel is the vessel that is red in color. So xylem, they are hollow. That means they lack cytoplasm and have a continuous lumen because they lack crosswalk. This will allow water and mineral salt to flow with minimum resistance, so they can be rapidly transported from the root to the leaf. They are also reinforced by strong and waterproof lignin, and lignin provide mechanical strength and prevent water from leaving the xylem vessel. And that's all for this part, which, like I said, wouldn't make too much of a sense until you go into later chapter. So, which is why I say this is the most disappointing video that you will watch.